alive! It's alive!
Otherworldlyculture.com presents Dead On Movie Reviews.
Salutations and mutilations. You're listening to Otherworldly Culture presents Dead On Movie Reviews. Tonight, we will present horror movie reviews and lively debate here on otherworldlyculture.com and on future select Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's 7 p.m. Central. You can join our live chat at the time by clicking on the live shows link on the otherworldlyculture.com website. I'm your host, Tim Kretschmann, coming to you from the land of lakes and landfills, beautiful and smelly Muskego, Wisconsin. And it's my honor to introduce the Faculty of Fear panel presenting you tonight's, before you even asked for it, tonight's lectures. And we're going to start with the meat. The meat is on the way, ladies and gentlemen. He's America's little sweetheart, the killer clown of getting down, the speedy freak that likes to speak and streak. He's smoking a stogie and eating a hoagie. He's stalking the small and the wild and pulling down the burlesque with a quest. He is the one and only Rich Dalzotto. Rich, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are the two of you?
Fantastic. Our other panelist tonight is Adam Holtzoffel. He is our hardcore otherworldly culture columnist. And he won't brag, but he is in fact the Taco King. Adam is kind of the spine of our written word out there on otherworldlyculture.com. So check out all of his articles and you will love them. And tonight he's going to be talking about this celluloid entry and not cellulite like he does with all of his food posts. Hello, Adam. How you doing?
How's it going, Tim?
Fantastic. We're having a great day here. Now, we did advertise that Mike Exler was going to be with us tonight. Something came up and he is not able to join us. But we wish him well. And Rich, this kind of gives us an opportunity. We got a little time here that we can talk about something near and dear to your heart. And that would be Adam.
Would you guys mind talking about it? Because I actually have to go inside and get my Chinese food.
Sure, yeah.
Restaurant.
Okay.
So,
while Rich is getting his sweet and while Rich is getting his sweet and sour chicken, you should check out HorrorRealmCon.com. That'll have all the information about Horror Realm, which is coming in only 2 weeks. 2 weeks out in Pittsburgh. Adam, you just posted a mega post about who's all coming. Can you tell us some of the guests that are coming to Horror Realm?
Yeah, David Nodden from American Werewolf in London will be there. Christina Klebe from Rob Zombie's Halloween. I believe she is also the voice of, like, the Siri type thing in the new Home Alone movie that aired on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. We won't hold that against her, though. She's done a number of horror movies now with Adam Green, too, I think, right? I know they got together for that scary sleepover, and they did some things. I know she was also in Tales from Halloween. We're also going to have 4 of the members of the original Fright Night are going to be there. William Ragsdale, Stephen Jeffries, Amanda Bierce, and Jonathan Stark will all be there. You got Kane Hodder will be there. There will be okay, help me out again, Adam. I'm drawing a blank.
Tiffany Shepis will be there.
Oh, yes.
Rachel Drew. trying to remember his name, but the guy that wrote and directed Squirm and Satan's Little Helper.
Okay.
Forget his name, but he'll be there. So.
And Adam, you have quite a few movies that you set up that are going to be in the movie room during the entire convention.
Yeah, we'd used Film Freeway this year and got several submissions through that. I believe there's a total of 30 films and shorts.
Wow.
For Friday and Saturday.
What was it you said you used, Adam? Film Fury? What was that?
Film Freeway.
Film Freeway. What is that?
That's, it's kind of a lot of festivals use it for their submissions.
Okay.
So people from all over the world can see when you're soliciting submissions and submit, and then, I watch the films and kind of pick through there, so.
Well, and we know you watch a lot of movies, so it's going to be a well-cultivated crop that'll be available for everybody. And I really like that there's you leaned into quite a few shorts. Because when I'm at a convention, I don't know that I can invest 2 hours to sit down and watch a feature. But watching a short is always a lot of fun, and you get in, you get out,
Yeah, and I also tried to do some featurettes that kind of straddle that 45-minute, hour, 20-minute runtime. That way, if someone has a little more time to dedicate, they can get into meteor film. So.
Meteor film, and that very often is what they are when they're at these festivals. Of course, there's also a fantastic array of vendors that will be there to sell you everything from toys to comics to posters to different videos, etc. Rich, are you finally through the line? Are you back?
There's no line. They wait for me. I'm a VIP at this place.
I've noticed you haven't taken me there, and it hurts. And I fully expect that will be remedied with this trip.
We'll go right after we're done at the Tennyson.
All right. Hey, Rich, are you ready to do your review?
Sure.
All right. Then, with no further ado, here we go with Rich. Rich, what have you been watching?
I watched the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. It was a straight-to-Netflix film.
Fantastic.
Would you like to know?
And it's
Would you like to know more?
It's 2022. Yeah, tell us more.
So, it is a sequel. It is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if this was intended to be like a direct sequel, sort of like what they did with the new Halloween movies. But one of the parts of this that makes me think it's supposed to be a direct sequel is that the original survivor from the first Texas Chainsaw, Sally Hardesty, is that correct? Anybody want to correct me on that?
Yeah, that's...
Is that correct? Okay. Her character, we find out a little backstory about her character, real brief, early in the movie, and what she has done for the last 30 or 40 years after surviving Leatherface. And that's like one of the first scenes of the movie.
Well, that's still narrated by John Larroquette at that point. That's like in the first minute and a half, I think.
Yes. So after very early on, we meet our main cast of characters. 4 young people on a road trip of sorts, but this road trip's a little different. They are influencers, techie people from California that have essentially figured out how to buy a town in Texas that's more or less ghost town tumbleweed time. There were some people still in it, but they basically bought up all of the property and have a busload of people following shortly after them to come in then for an auction for these people to buy those properties from them. And basically, they want to build a town, or build this town back up in the vision that these young people kind of think would be perfection for this day and age. The amenities you would want in a town, and I guess the standard of living and things of that nature. They don't go into a lot of detail, but it's not hard to figure out either.
Right.
And so they're typical.
They're woke.
They're woke, and they're just kind of
idealistic.
None of the character, everybody has their little cookie cutter personality, and none of these cast of characters really, you don't care about any of them at any point in the movie, in my opinion. You don't feel close to them or care about any of them. You're not. When they die, if they die, so be it.
There was one character that I cared about in the whole film. And
was that the guy who still lived in that town? The truck.
Yeah,
the truck.
The redneck.
Yeah.
The person they were setting him up to be the person you're supposed to hate, and I'm like, he's the only one I give a rat's ass about at all.
Yeah, we encounter him early on also, and he's basically the polar opposite of these people, and there's an immediate friction between personalities.
Right.
And this is at the town. One of the first things they discover is he's set up a shop there to work on his truck and stuff. So there's oh god, I can't believe it's this guy. And they start exploring the buildings, including one that was an orphanage that's been around for 50 years or so. And there's an old woman there who she's seemingly very sweet, old and frail and weathered from hard Texas living and probably close to poverty. And they, in their millennial nice way, basically say, you can't be here. We bought up the whole town. And she says, I paid off the bank. I have my deed to this building. And long and short of it is they start kind of forcing her out, and the police even are coming to take her out. Somehow this town had 2 policemen that oversaw it, even though it's a ghost town. I haven't figured that out, where they had the budget to have 2 policemen. But anyway, she starts to have some sort of attack of health because of the stress, and is collapsed. And at that point, there's a large figure in the shadows at the top of the stairs of this building. And, she tells, I forget what she says to him, but basically this large shadowy figure listens to her. But he also, when the police come and the ambulance, he comes down and carries her to the ambulance and is riding. Or no, they don't get an ambulance. I'm sorry, they used a police van. My apologies. Yeah. So he's riding in the back to go to the hospital with her.
You didn't hear what she said to him? You didn't hear that? No, it said something about it's in the bedroom. Yeah, she said it's in the bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. You're right.
Yep. Rich is calling in tonight, so once in a while the signal is cutting out, I've noticed. I think it's also because... There he goes.
He's a very aged Leatherface at this point.
Okay. Yeah, Rich, we lost you for about 10 seconds there.
I do. That was my dead zone. So you get little tidbit, little shots of his body, but not a full, like you can't see everything or his face, but you can tell this is a now 40 years later Leatherface. He's showing the age. In the van, and that sets him off, and he's Leatherface again. The rest of the movie is him exacting his revenge on these people in various ways. I won't ruin the kills. There was some decent kills, some gore if you like that stuff. And then you get to the end of the movie, and I won't tell you the end of that. And Sally Hardesty does make an appearance. I mean, that's obvious. It pretty much sets you up for that in that opening scene. And it ends like many Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies have ended in the past. with a lot of dead bodies and a final girl.
Now,
So
okay, Adam's
that's
watched.
it.
Okay, Adam's watched this as well. What did you guys think? We'll start with you, Rich.
Personally, I thought it came in well below my expectations, and my expectations weren't high. I didn't expect it to
Really?
be as good as the first or the second, which I see as two very different Leatherface films, but I love them both. I was hoping it would be as good, at least as good as Part 3. It was basically worse than Texas Chainsaw Next Generation.
Okay.
Was that what it was called, Next Generation?
I.
The one with Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah. That one was terrible.
Worse than that. I thought it was poorly written, probably poorly directed, because the story just never was that interesting or exciting to me. It could have been a fun film, but I didn't even find it fun. I just was like, they shouldn't have made this movie.
Okay. What did you think, Adam?
I didn't watch the trailer for it, so I kind of went in with no expectations and hoping it was better than the piece of shit 2017 Leatherface, which it was. It doesn't take much to be better than that movie. I thought we saw little brutality of the original Leatherface in this one. Nothing's gonna top part 1 and part 2. That's plain as day. You can make a million of these and nothing's gonna top either of those. I thought it was fun for what it was. I could have done without all of the cancel culture, gentrification. I could have done without all of those undertones. And
Yes.
I will say I like that, unlike Halloween, where Laurie Strode's one of the main focuses, that Sally Hardesty is just kind of an afterthought of this one. I did like that. So overall, I didn't love it, didn't hate it. I'd probably watch it again, but it wouldn't be something I'd be in a rush to watch again.
Yeah, I watched it last night. Oh, go ahead, Rich.
Oh, I was just going to ask Adam what he thought of both of you for that matter, what you thought of his mask.
I liked it. I thought it worked well, because I don't want to give any spoilers away, but, we all kind of, anyone that's seen it knows who the face is, so.
Yeah.
I think I liked it as well. It just was weird. I wanted a better mask, but it made total sense for the movie, so I appreciate it.
And honestly, I am not the big Chainsaw Massacre expert. I've only seen the first, second, and the Renee Zellweger one. Those are the only ones that I've seen of the entire series. I did not expect this to be better than 1 or 2. And I know a lot of people love 2. I don't see 2 as that close to the first one. I see a big gulf between those two. I like 2, but number 1 is so much better than that film.
If I remember right, Toby Hooper don't want to make 2, and he is kind of forced into it, so he's like, fuck it, we're going to go at the opposite end of the spectrum. And that's why they're nothing alike. And, one thing I didn't care with this one, no mention of the Sawyer family.
Yeah. What was that about?
What Rich said with the lady running the orphanage and, he's kind of living there with her. Was he an orphan? Or are they saying this is a sequel and we're just gonna erase the Sawyer family and say he was an orphan the whole time, or did he end up there after the events of part one?
I'm glad you brought that up because I thought it was going to be like at first, like a Firefly family from House of Thousand Corpses. Like they were going to kind of make the Sawyer family like that, but like you said, they totally dropped it.
Well, what I think was interesting to me is they were obviously very excited about their storyline idea of this entire city being sold at auction and people buying it and something, and it's kind of an excuse to get your body count up. I understand that, but they were spending an awful lot of screen time explaining this awkward as shit approach. I mean, you could solve the same problem by just having a bunch of people in a bus and the bus break down. You didn't need all the stuff that they shoved into the story. And honestly, me as kind of a politically incorrect type of guy, these politically correct, over the top idealists, who I think the redneck quite correctly identifies as a cult, I wanted them to die. I didn't care if the car broke down and they just died of thirst out there. I didn't care how they died. I just wanted them dead in some way very quickly. And I don't think that's what you want with your horror movie. You want to back somebody. And they really didn't do. And the other side of it is, there was nobody that I was like, what a goddamn son of a bitch. I really want to see him get it. And I think they thought that was the redneck character, which I think they screwed up completely if that's what they were after. It should have been that lead black guy that was the kind of the head of the group. He was obviously really into it. They could have done it by making him more greedy and, just doing a couple of things where he looked like they didn't allow him to be a hypocrite or anything. They could have made him into a hypocrite, and then it would have been more satisfying when Leatherface comes knocking.
I think they tried to do that with the whole deed scene. They tried making the girl someone you'd root for, and they tried making him look like the asshole, and it didn't work.
I agree. I think they tried. They tried. They just didn't succeed.
Well, and I think the thing it suffers from, too, is in the genre, you don't have lifers anymore. Like, people do one horror flick, and then they're on to the next thing. You don't have, like, the Linnea Quigleys or Heather Langenkamps or Gunnar Hansons and Kane Hodder's that they're doing this for 40, 50 years.
Well, you do have some directors, though, that keep flittering about, because I saw Fede Alvarez's name pop up, as I think he at least had a story credit. So they did have people that actually cared about this franchise and everything in there. But I agree, you didn't see any old faces from previous installments, including... I kind of didn't understand why you were bringing Sally back with such a lame storyline. Because, first of all, the actress that portrayed her passed away, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that? So, it's more understandable with Strode in Halloween, because not only is the actress still alive, but it's Jamie frickin' Lee Curtis. I mean, it's not just... honestly, I couldn't remember the name of the person that played Sally. I had to look it up, and I'm like, oh, that's too bad. She passed away. Oh, they got a different person. that's how deep I'm in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it isn't something where a lot of people are gonna go, "Oh, it's her." You're not gonna have that moment. So then you should have that character doing more, and maybe make her into like Dr. Loomis.
But the thing is, I think you can do a callback without making that a main focus, and I think that's what they were trying to do with this.
I think they were building a Van Helsing there, that they were trying to make, okay, her whole life has been about chasing down Leatherface. But here's the thing. She only finds Leatherface because somebody literally calls her up and says, hey, there's a guy running around wearing somebody else's face carrying a chainsaw. I mean, it isn't like she's been on the trail. There isn't even a moment where she says, I always knew it was going to be so-and-so place. Or none of that occurs.
It wasn't even somebody calling her up and saying someone's wearing a face, as the guy at the store that overheard the girl in the police truck on the CB. Right. So, I mean, it's kind of like this whole town's dirty secret. Just, I think he did the events in the first one, then he lied dormant for like 50 years. So that's why her storyline was so weak. It wasn't like, oh, you son of a bitch, it's you. I knew it. It's just, I wasted my life, where in Halloween they make Strode look crazy, like he's always out there, where this, he just kind of vanished.
Now, does anybody else have an issue with the logistics of the chainsaw? Because I found that the chainsaw not only would run and then be able to silence itself while still running sometimes. There was like a mute button on it. It also could start up immediately, or it'd be kind of tough to start the thing. And most excitingly to me, it apparently was made of the same stuff a lightsaber is made out of, because it was cutting through wood at a speed that was almost faster than you can walk. I know you guys have cut wood with a chainsaw before. I think everybody has. It isn't like you just zip and it goes right through a piece of wood.
Well, I mean, if it's an abandoned, dilapidated town, I could kind of buy that. But again, I'm going into this suspending all belief, because I'm not. Like, I think people are gravitating more towards the A24 stuff, because based on all the hate I was seeing for this, they were wanting a more serious film.
Yeah, well,
where for me, I wanted brutality, blood, and gore, and I got that, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and I say all this, and this is typical slasher stuff. It's typical that, he's going to be silent now because we need him to sneak up on somebody. That's why his chainsaw is suddenly silent. I get all that, and honestly, for me, it delivered what I was hoping it would deliver. It brought a lot of violence. It didn't sit around there. If this movie was 2 hours long, it would have been unconscionable. You couldn't have watched it. It would have killed you dead. It was exactly the right length. It didn't overstay its welcome. Actually, I felt like the finale, the air was slowly coming out of the tire. They needed to close that out a little bit quicker. But it was pretty good. Rich, I know you're on a tight schedule. You want to give us your grade on this?
I would like to say one thing first, and then I will give you a grade. And this is a small spoiler, not the major, but if somebody doesn't want anything spoiled, it's time to cover your ears. Michelle made a good observation on the movie with the lead black gentleman that you were discussing.
Yeah.
At least, unlike so many horror films of the past, he was not the first death.
Oh, that is true.
I mean,
That's just because he wasn't available. He wasn't right there. As soon as he became available, he was up on the blocks pretty quick.
But anyway, on to my
yes.
grade. Are you ready?
I'm so ready, it's almost frightening.
I will give this a big old F.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, I don't know that. Well, let's go around the horn. Adam, what would you give this one?
I'll give it a C. Like, it wasn't the worst film I've seen in the series, and it wasn't the best. You're never gonna top the first two. Delivered on the kills and the gore, which is what I wanted from it. And the callback to John Larroquette narrating the opening, just like the original, was kind of fun. So,
did you notice they opened up the barbecue and you got that sound at one point?
Yeah.
They played that. I thought was pretty neat.
I was excited for a second when they did that. I'm like, nope, that's all we're getting.
Yeah. I'm going to shock both of you because I'm not the slasher guy at all. I don't like slasher movies for the most part. I'm going to give it a B-.
What?
And I'll tell you why. Because I don't find Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not like holy to me. It's not a movie that I'm real super excited about or anything of that nature. It's just another movie as far as I'm concerned. And as far as as just another slasher movie, it was better than any of the Hatchet movies for me. I thought it was just fine. Maybe not better than the Hatchet 2, but
I'm glad I'm hanging up.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I probably would have shot out the last 15 minutes of the movie, and certainly would have slimmed up the opening 15. But I thought there was a lot of great gore in the middle there. I enjoyed it to a certain extent, so I had a good time. Hey, we want to thank everybody that is out in the chat room. Very busy there, and I saw that Susie Snowflake did tell us that was in 2014 that the actress that played Sally passed away. Thanks for looking that up for us. All right, it is time now, Adam and Rich. We know you have to leave, so
am I allowed to say goodbye?
You are, and this is probably a good time for you to tell everybody where they should be going in 2 weeks.
To hell. Or you can come to Horror Realm. I would enjoy seeing you and having a beer with you.
All right, fantastic. We'll see you there. Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. And Adam, now it's your turn. What have you been watching?
I watched 1988's Slime City.
Slime City. Now, this is a pretty rare one for people, right?
It is. You can find this currently on Tubi. It is free with ads. And, sometimes you need a break during this film.
Was this I was getting different reports. Is this a trauma movie, or did they distribute it, or not?
It's not a trauma film. They may have distributed it at one time.
All right.
I'm not sure who currently has the rights to it. I know the only way you can find a physical copy is if you buy the sequel, Slime City Massacre, from 2010, I believe. And the original Slime Cities included on that 2-pack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this film, it's a rare one. I know it's been on my list to see for years, and it was just due to not being able to find it that I finally got a chance to watch it.
So, how is it? What is it about? Is it literally about Nickelodeon?
It is. It actually stars Mark Summers, and it's based on the show Double Dare.
And somebody looks into the camera and says, "You can't do that on television."
Right, and every time they say "I don't know," they get slimed.
Yeah.
Really, it's about a student who is looking for an apartment in New York and comes across this ad. It's real quick, 5 minutes in, if that, he finds the apartment. As he's moving in, the girl you see with the black hair and fishnets starts talking to him. His friend that's helping him move drops the mattress, and, it's all above the waist, but it looks like he's rubbing one out while they're standing there talking.
So it's a classy film.
It is. It's one you can watch with the whole family. Invite the grandparents. I think they'd enjoy it. Alex is the main character, played by Craig Sabin. Don't really think anyone from this film has done anything other than the sequel to it. He befriends Roman, another tenant of the building, and after eating what looks like dyed tapioca, Alex starts having issues where if he doesn't kill people, he turns into slime.
That happens, huh? Now, like, how does he know that? Does a doctor tell him that?
No, he discovers it by starting to turn into slime. And then when he kills a homeless man, he notices he's normal again. No one's safe in this, from the slime or murder.
Okay. Is this made tongue-in-cheek, or is this played totally straight?
I think it's supposed to be totally straight. Like, if it was based on a Lovecraft story, Stuart Gordon would have directed this. But it is not, so that's why it's not a Stuart Gordon film. It's a fun watch. I loved it. Like, I watched it with Mike, that was supposed to be on tonight, and his wife. And then the following night, I told my wife, you gotta see it, because she's an 80s gore kid just like I am. So for me to watch it 2 nights in a row says something about it.
Yeah, because you're always looking for the next one, even though, you do plenty of revisiting. You're always trying to feed the beast and continue watching more movies. So.
Yeah, and there's a sex scene that looks like it's just in a New York subway, like they built in an apartment set in part of the subway. I'm surprised a rat did not jump out and join in. There's like cigarette butts and bottle caps, and it's just, it's what you want from a movie titled Slime City.
Oh my goodness. Oh God. Now, are the effects decent? We got some stills going on the video version of tonight's show.
Surprisingly, because the acting and the script are not that great, the effects are actually pretty decent.
Okay. I was about to say they look like it's definitely low budget, but it looks like they gave it the good old college try with it.
They did, and let me see if I can find who did the effects for this. I don't think there was anyone too big name involved with this film.
So no Rick Baker. No Rick Baker.
Yeah, no Rick Baker, no Rob Bottin, no Robert Kurtzman, Greg Nicotero, none of those guys. So, yeah.
We're being asked in the chat room. How about Tom Savini?
No.
Okay, because one of his friends is in the chat, Adam.
But at least Jeff got his name right instead of calling him Ted Savini.
You've noticed that too. That is one in a row. We're gonna give him a point. 1 point. Oh my God. He says he used Google. We're being told in the chat room while you're looking it up on Google, they spent $49,000 of the $50,000 budget on FX. Peggy is telling us that.
Honestly, that would not surprise me because if you watch this, the filming location literally looks like an abandoned subway. So, yeah. I love it. It's everything 80s horror is. It's
over the
top. It's weird slime effects, sketchy people.
Okay.
And New York. You know, it's like if you watch this and Basket Case together, you're having a good time. So
now is this one where you definitely want to watch it with other people?
Like watching it with other people makes it fun. You can watch it alone and still have a good time, but watching it with other people lends to more jokes.
Okay. Well,
like is it ketchup or mustard that they're using for the slime?
Yeah, I noticed that with some of these pictures. I think it's probably grading time, Adam. What do you want to grade this one?
I'm giving this an A.
What?
It's a fun film, yeah. I think the runtime's like not even an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's a nice short film, well done effects, cheesy dialogue, cheesy acting. It's the perfect 80s schlock horror movie, so...
Wow, I'm still shocked that it got an A, though. Wow. All right, and it's free, you say, on Tubi right now.
Yeah.
And I do know if you want to buy the DVD, it is available out there, but it is pricey. You may want to check it out on Tubi for the low price of nothing. So...
Yeah, and I won't buy the DVD of just Slime City. I'd buy the sequel that also includes Slime City on Blu-ray for like $20 or $30, I think. So
okay, fantastic. All right, well, I guess it's my turn now. I gotta hit 3 buttons at once. This is always fun. All right, everybody. The movie that I partook in for tonight's program is called The Deep House. And as a lot of you know, I have a thing about underwater horror. I enjoy it a great deal. And The Deep House came out in 2021, just came out. And I saw a preview for this, and the preview is really scuba divers going into what appears to be a haunted house. And I'm like, this will be great. There will be a shark chasing people down all the hallways. It'll be like Deep Blue Sea, but you got scuba gear on. This is going to be fantastic. So I'm just totally expecting shark chasing people through a house that's underwater. This is going to be great. That's not the movie that it is. In fact, I went back and watched the trailer again. They don't show a shark. There's no shark in this thing. This is an underwater haunted house movie. Now, before I go any further, Adam, have you seen this thing yet? What happened to Adam?
Sorry, I was muted. No, I've not seen it. I've not heard of it. So.
Yeah, it is on. It's on Prime Video. There's a couple places you can catch it. I would not be surprised if it isn't. I didn't check it before we got on the air. I would not be shocked that it's on Peacock because this is a Universal picture with Blumhouse. So I'm thinking at one of those tiers of Peacock, you can probably get this thing. I'm going to come right out and say it. This was one of the scarier movies I've seen in a long, long time. I don't know why that is, except for there is something extremely creepy about seeing something that should be out on land completely submerged. It's just creepy. Part of it is they didn't do that thing that you get in a lot of underwater movies where they go to Florida at Silver Springs and they shoot everything, like Creature of Black Lagoon. The water is so freaking clear in that movie, it's like it's not there. It's almost invisible. In this movie, it's dark, it's murky, there's like crap floating around in screen fairly often. And they did something I thought was very smart. When they need to obfuscate an area or just kind of hide something, they'd throw bubbles coming up from the scuba, which would blind you. You're blinded by the bubbles all of a sudden. Like, what's going on back there? So it made very good use of the milieu, the environment. But this is a haunted house movie. So they do have some difficulty getting into this house that is perfectly preserved at the bottom of a lake. They are in the south of France, and they're like YouTubers that what they do is urban exploring type of things where they go into old creepy houses and that sort of thing. So they actually end up coming in through the attic into the house, and they start exploring everything. And as you move along in this house, you start to realize something's a little off with the place. And either the family that lived there's just some weirdness going on. There's a lot of film all over the place. There's pictures of missing children up on the walls. It's like, what's going on here? And you continue to go further and further down into the home, and what it comes down to is this place is haunted. There are ghosts, and how that comes about and how all of that comes together, well, that's the movie. I don't know that it's the most satisfying storyline, but really for, I would say 2/3 to 3/4 of the film is underwater. They handled a lot of things that are usually a problem with underwater movies pretty well. One of them being they're able to speak because of the special mask that they have on, that they're able to talk back and forth relatively easy. They score it well, which a lot of times, I don't know why, but people shoot something underwater and they go, okay, no score. We're not going to put any music. Screw you, you still need music. Let's go. So they had a very creepy score to it. They kept, even though it's all in a house, it kept moving. I mean, you kept seeing new things all throughout it. So you kind of felt like you were watching one of those YouTube videos where they're going through a house and they just keep going into a different room, They did have some legitimate jump scares in the film. They had just like any haunted house movie. They had a cockamamie reason why the ghost is even there and what's going on. So it really felt like it was a haunted house movie. It really felt like it was an underwater adventure movie being melded together. I really, really freaking enjoyed it. I was creeped out. It was just very creepy, and it kept you on the edge of your seat. One thing that they did, at one point I thought this was going to end up being a found footage movie because, you know, they're YouTube people and they got the action cam on the side of their thing. But they did make the intelligent decision that they would just jump to those, the YouTube footage or the footage they were shooting only when they needed to. Only when that would be the scariest position to be in. They also went down with a drone. I swear to God, these guys have more equipment than an astronaut. It was a good drinking game, everybody, is every time one of the characters says, send in the drone, do a shot, you'll be out well before the end of the movie. Unless you're Jeff, then you barely feel it. But otherwise, you're completely gone. And it was a lot of fun to watch. It was scary. It wasn't overly long. It was just about, because it can be boring to just watch people swimming around. But they did a lot of things to make it so it wasn't that they're just swimming around. And there were some callbacks. Like when they're in the kitchen, there's chairs kind of stacked up on top of a table, and I'm like, well, that's Poltergeist. That's totally Poltergeist that's going on there. And it makes sense because a chair isn't going to sit there on the floor when it's underwater. It's going to float around, you know. So I really got a kick out of it, and I highly recommend it to you, Adam. Oh, I should probably give it a rating.
Yeah, it sounds like a good watch.
Yeah, I had it written down so I wouldn't change my mind. Yep, I am going with an A- on this film. I really, really enjoyed it. And I had, like I said, I didn't have the highest expectations for it. I was expecting a shark chasing them through a house. I wasn't expecting much. If any of you have seen the movie House Shark, you would know what I was expecting, and that ain't much. Have you ever seen that one, Adam?
I've seen the trailer for it. I just kind of tapped out after that.
Yeah, it's not to be watched. That is not to be watched. That's not a good idea. All right, everybody. Well, we've gotten to that part of the show where we tell you what's going on. Let's see. Okay. We talked about Horror Realm earlier. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ohio Fan Fest, which is coming up May 13th and 14th in Girard, Ohio. Lots of great guests coming out to that. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming weeks. That is 79 days away. And on our website, otherworldlyculture.com, we just got that lengthy article that Adam did on Horror Realm. Why is my... I swear to goodness, it is not letting me scroll again. There we go. On the Horror Realm. Now remember, Horror Realm, it's horrorrealmcon.com. A little bit difficult. horrorrealmcon.com, and that'll give you all the information on Horror Realm, and you should check that out in the very near future. And coming up on Tuesday, we have Dead on the Bases. Tuesday. On Thursday, we have Dead on the Bases with myself and Jeff. We have a sports movie and a horror movie. We have Kevin Costner Week because of Yellowstone and all that. We have Kevin Costner Week. We are going to be reviewing the films Draft Day, and Mr. Brooks. So that should be a good one. Our contact link does not work. I'm not sure. I've got a lot of contact us links. So please let me know, Media Ghost, where the contact us link, which one you're talking about. Got a lot of websites. All right. Sounds good. Adam found something broken on one of my websites earlier today, too. So join the fun. Adam, what have you got coming up? You're going to be running the movies at Horror Realm. Anything else going on?
No, yeah, I'll just be doing the film fest at Horror Realm, then got Squared Circle Expo and Ohio Fan Fest is the next two conventions I'll be at.
Okay, fantastic. Media Ghost, if it's on the Horror Realm Con site, that has not been fully put together yet. That is going to be and it should be horrorrealmcon.com. But that is not yet ready. There's not a form on there. So if you just send us an email at rich@otherworldlyculture.com, it'll get to Rich himself, and he'll be happy to get back to you. Okay. I think that's everything. And so I'll be on Thursday. We do have a silent week during Horror Realm, where we're not going to have anything out on the site because we're all going to... Well, actually, no. We're going to have some written articles. There's not going to be any shows, but I got a couple Universally Loves coming out that week. So that'll be happening as well. All right, Adam. I think we're done. Do you think we gave everybody a good show tonight? Are they all going to be happy with the content?
Yeah, I think so. I think the talk of the new Texas Chainsaw was riveting, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm really kind of upset with Rich because I don't think it's an F. I don't think it's like avoid at all costs. F to me is avoid at all costs. I really don't.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's as bad as some of the sequels in the 90s, like Next Beginning or whatever it was, and definitely wasn't as bad as Leatherface, the prequel,
the 2018, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were trying to launch. I was reading that they were trying to launch a TV show at that time. I'm like, where could you do a TV show? I mean, the only place could be Shudder. That's the only place I could think of.
I'm wondering what ended up on the cutting room floor from this one, too.
Yeah.
Like, if there's going to be an extended cut that hits DVD, with it being straight to Netflix, I doubt it.
I heard the reason it's direct to Netflix, that was not the plan. My understanding is it tested extremely poorly, and Netflix just waved some dollars at them, and they're like, fine. Because that's the story I found online, and I went, that probably makes sense. I'm not going to sit here and defend it as one of the greatest movies ever. But
no, yeah, it's not. I think, I saw someone make a good comparison that, if you're telling me Troll 2's a better movie than this, then what did you expect from this? So, I mean, I think it's gonna suffer a lot due to the political undertones, but...
I would have done away with all those political undertones. Whoa, who the hell needs that? It's a horror movie. Let's get to the killing.
Yeah, same here. Just give me a brutal Leatherface, fucking shit up, and call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Hey, we're out of time. If you want to reach any of our panelists, their first name at otherworldlyculture.com. That'll get a hold of them until we start getting stalkers. But we are safe for quite a while. First, we got to get viewers before we can get the stalkers. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Really appreciate you coming to Dead On Movie Reviews. Again, Thursday we have Dead on the Bases, and we'll be seeing you real soon here at otherworldlyculture.com. When you aim at horror, just make sure you are dead on. See you next time. Otherworldlyculture.com.
Basically, I'm the worst person in the world.